And if I hear you call one more chef a baby, I'm gonna get you a diaper.
Season 20 of Hell's Kitchen was one hell of a ride. And trust me, the Young Guns were not prepared to face Gordon Ramsay's heat.
I mean, seriously? Who cooked that lamb?
Me, chef.
Come on, guys. Come on, come on. Not tonight. It is raw.
Alrighty, so let's go over the worst chefs from this season. And well, it was one disastrous mess.
2 halibut, 2 chicken.
Oh my God.
2 halibut.
You would be surprised to know just how many fans of the show hated her.
For a long time, I've just felt like not good enough. I put so much pressure on this as though like, if I get disqualified, I'm gonna be nothing.
Yes, I'm talking about Brynn Gibson. And there are some solid reasons too. Do let me know in the comments if you agree. She started the season saying that she was timid, had anxiety, and needed to find her voice. Fair enough. But when she did find it, she went from soft-spoken to full-volume drill sergeant overnight. She wasn't leading, she was just yelling and the wrong orders as well.
1 welly, walking in 2. Halibut garnish.
2 halibut, 2 welly, correct?
2 halibut, 1 welly.
And the hypocrisy? Off the charts. When Peyton said her name at elimination, she acted all shocked.
I can't believe Peyton is still here. For him to call out my name, I'm heated. Like, that's not okay.
Sure, no one likes being nominated, but this constant refusal to take accountability was exhausting. And then, after a disastrous charity dinner service, she got into it with Josie over who flopped harder. Josie pointed out the obvious, they both messed up, and Brynn snapped.
Why me?
You 2 got in your head the most.
Excuse me? I would be very careful with your choice of words.
Relax, no one's drafting war declarations here. Josie wasn't even coming for her character, she was just telling the truth. Brynn then completely lost control of her snapper course that night.
The potatoes back on and get the fish back in the pan. Hurry up and stop putting raw fish on there.
Yes, chef.
She wants to be seen as this strong, unshakable chef, but the second things get emotional, it's tears and panic.
Come on. I'm not even running the section. I know what the going on there, okay?
I don't know. I'm in my head.
You good, Brynn?
I'm good with what?
Get in the game. Brynn, switch on. Decisive and clear. Let's go.
And to be clear, mental health struggles are real and no one is knocking that. But using anxiety as a shield while tearing others down, that is the real issue. Plus, she had to develop emotional fortitude. She was a bit all over the place every time her mistakes were pointed out.
This sucks. I hate this. Like, oh, I'm gonna cry. I hate this so much.
But what are your thoughts? Moving on to the next person on my list.
Look at it. It's called a non-stick because it doesn't stick, you muppet. Tell me, what's in there?
We got some lemon, and I threw a little bit of mayonnaise and parsley to make it pop.
You're trying to make my recipes pop. Are you saying the dough?
No, chef.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many fans weren't thrilled with Trenton Garvey winning. Dude could cook, for sure, but as a leader, feels like he graduated from the cringe academy of Gordon Ramsay impersonation.
Hurry the up, man. I'm waiting for this food. I need it. I need this food right now. I mean, man, I really need you to pick it up tonight. I cannot do this.
Honestly, I think he won because Hell's Kitchen champions are more like celebrity mascots than actual brigade leaders. Trenton's way more polarizing than Megan, which means more buzz, more customers wanting to meet him, and more hype for the restaurant. And let's be real, his plating skills? Perfect for Instagram. Feels like Chef Ramsay saw the potential for Trenton to blow up and thought, yeah, I'll take credit for that.
Okay, let's go, garnish. No answer. Garnish, I'm dressing the Wellington. Let's go. You should be up first. End of story. You say yes or no. That's it. Off. Let's go.
I get why a lot of fans weren't exactly thrilled about Trenton winning, especially when Megan clearly had the stronger leadership game. Even Chef Ramsay said so after the final service. She crushed it on the pass, while Trenton had that infamous TUNA meltdown.
TUNA.
Chef, I don't...
Taste again. Come on, I'm not giving up on you.
He spelled it out for him, and he still didn't know what the dish was. Could you imagine? Meanwhile, Megan made smart calls, like swapping Josie and Steve, while Trenton needed Chef Ramsay to step in and Antonio to basically babysit Kia's station when she struggled on the meat.
Come on, guys. I want to hear communication. I got 60 seconds and then refire. 60 seconds.
Walking to the pass with the garnish.
Chicken?
And on top of that, Megan actually treated her brigade very well, while Trenton gave off major try-hard boss energy. By the way, raise your hand or drop a comment if you think that Chef Ramsay was way too lenient on Trenton on the pass.
And salt.
Worse than that.
Zest.
Dissect it on your tongue.
First, he got tuna tartare instead of beef tartare, tasted it, and still didn't catch the mistake. Chef Ramsay practically had to spell it out for him. Not exactly head chef energy if you ask me. It was embarrassing to watch.
T-U-N-A.
Then came mistake number 2. Chef Ramsay sent out venison instead of lamb, and Trenton, clueless again.
So it's pink?
Raw.
No, that's not raw, young man.
Is that?
No, it's dark.
It's not lamb.
Taste.
Venison, chef.
That's right.
Ain't right.
He had to slice it, taste it, and then realized after prompting from Chef Ramsay, oh yeah, that's deer. Despite all of that, Chef Ramsay still praised him for his effort. Anyone else would have been roasted alive, but Trenton practically got a pat on the back. Even in the finals, Trenton wasn't running his brigade, they were running him. He couldn't rein them in, couldn't keep them on track, and things got so bad that Chef Ramsay had to step in.
Taste it, okay.
Salt too.
No. And it's undercooked.
Right out of the gate, he couldn't even identify that the risotto was undercooked. Then Kia called for 3 minutes on chicken, but Bryn and Antonio ignored her and pushed the garnish up anyway.
When I said I needed 3 minutes, I really needed 3 minutes.
Thank you.
That threw Kia off, and when she finally sent her chicken, it was pink. Chef Ramsay had to point it out for him.
Okay, so it's still pink in the middle.
Yes, chef.
Then came the real disaster. Trenton wanted a strong finish, but the kitchen was in shambles. Kia hesitated to bring up chicken, and when she did,
Chicken.
It's under.
Stop.
It's under. Yeah. Hey, get over here. Kaya, get over here.
yep, raw again. Trenton should have made a move like Scott from season 12 and removed Kia from meat, but he let things slide because he didn't have the foresight.
You guys are way better than this. Have a meeting, get it sorted out, and bounce back.
And instead of taking action, Trenton blamed Kia, snapping at her for screwing him up.
Like, why do we me over so hard? Why?
Well, we're not trying to, I can guarantee you that. Nobody's trying to do this on purpose.
Trenton really wanted to prove that he could lead. Instead, though, his brigade fell apart and he just stood there while Chef Ramsay did his job for him. Megan's brigade now was a night and day difference compared to Trenton's mess. She ran the kitchen with actual leadership, not just acting like Chef Ramsay, but thinking like a head chef. From the very beginning, she was in control.
Scallop in about a minute out.
Heard that? About a minute out as well. Thank you.
You set the pace, remember?
Absolutely,
So you
sir.
tighten that up now, yes?
Yes, chef.
First ticket in, she called it out clearly, and everyone knew their place, and Megan kept the team locked in.
How long on those crab cakes? Yes, chef. 30 more seconds. I need it quick.
Then came the entrees. Josie fell behind on ribeye, messed up the first one, and then ignored Megan when she called her name for a refire. That could have really derailed the service, but Megan took action. The second Josie sent up raw steak, she immediately did this.
Steve and Josie, I need y'all to switch. Now.
Yep, swapped her with Steve, fixing the problem on the spot. See the difference? By the way, who are your top 5 worst winners in your opinion? Let me know in the comments section down below. The next chef on this list is someone you've all been expecting.
Young man, if you're gonna stay in this industry, get your together.
Yes, chef.
Matthew was a hand or a food model. His signature dish looked great. Classic presentation, sure, but then Chef Ramsay took one bite and boom.
But I'm not very good at eating shrimp and the sack.
Yep, an Elise move for sure. The shrimp's poop sack is still intact. Ugh. Do you remember her blunder in season 17 Black Jackets as well? It was the same here.
Oh no. Crap. I didn't take out the crap. I didn't devein it. And I'm like, shoot.
Utterly disgusted, Chef Ramsay asked him why he didn't clean it, and Matthew, in peak obliviousness, said that he just didn't notice. Cue Ramsay offering him a taste of his mistake, because if you serve it, you should be willing to eat it, right? Matthew, of course, refused.
Would you like a little bite of the sack?
I'll avoid it. My bad.
It's definitely in the list of the top 10 worst signature dishes on the show, but what do you think? Matthew really thought he had bounced back after that whole shrimp disaster. This time, he went for a bourbon rub chicken with cream sauce because nothing says redemption like a safe protein, right? But then, the moment of truth. Chef Ramsay cut into the chicken and uh-oh, something was off. He called the rest of the blue team up and there it was.
You guys wanted me to eat pink chicken? Seriously?
No, chef. No, chef.
And this is your top dish. Get back in line.
Yup, raw chicken. Cue Chef Ramsay's frustration. How did this even make it into the top 3? Absolutely embarrassing judgment on the part of the blue team.
Yeah, and the only thing missing on Matthew's dish were the feathers.
Matthew's last chance to prove that he could hang in Chef Ramsay's kitchen just so happened to be during the 300th Hell's Kitchen dinner service, so no pressure, right?
They like throw a car at me during this service and I don't care. I'm just gonna keep going.
It was an accident. He sent up some lamb, but the moment Chef Ramsay touched it, he marched it to the end of the line for everyone to feel.
Touch that, all of you. Jump in, someone. Without even looking, slicing, just touch that.
You could see how raw it was. At first, Matthew confidently called it rare, only to immediately backtrack to save face. And if serving raw lamb in front of Mike Tyson wasn't bad enough, he smiled about it, which Chef Ramsay did not appreciate.
It's not funny, Matthew. Do you think it's funny in front of your chef table?
Sensing the impending disaster, Peyton took over the meat station. But when the VIP's order came in, neither of them could remember what was on it.
Is that the chicken? For this table? Do you have the chicken for this table?
Forgot one chicken on VIP, chef.
Ramsay, completely baffled, had them apologize to Tyson, leaving Peyton mortified. Meanwhile, Matthew, in full panic mode, resorted to this.
This is only at 118. This is back in. This is only at 118.
Matthew pulls out a digital thermometer.
Yeah, checking chicken with a digital thermometer? Now, true HK fans, remind me in the comments what happened to Barbie in season 10 when she pulled this move. Things unraveled fast. When Ramsay asked for the time on the order, Peyton and Antonio threw out 2 different numbers.
We have 3 minutes on the chicken.
9 minutes, chef. 7 minutes.
How much on the chicken?
379.
That was it. Ramsay had seen enough. He dragged them to the front of the pass for some answers. But hear out the flimsy excuses he made.
It's just really fast and we're trying. And
Really fast?
Yes.
Call out the order again.
When the blue team trudged downstairs, Ramsay held up Matthew's abandoned meat thermometer like it was an Exhibit A in a criminal trial or something. The irony wasn't lost on anyone.
How incredible that somebody sneaked a meat thermometer in here. We still couldn't produce any cooked protein.
Yep. Honestly, it was no surprise when Matthew became the first nominee for elimination. In fact, he should have been the first boot of the season, not Ava. Agreed? Chef Ramsay laid it all out. The poop sack shrimp from the signature dish challenge, the raw chicken from the alcohol challenge, and now the raw lamb from the dinner service? There was a pattern here, and it was not a good one. Chef Ramsay had zero interest in hearing Matthew's plea. His attitude, trash. His performance, worse. He was done.
I'm not listening to your Give me your jacket.
Before sending him off, Chef Ramsay handed him back the very thermometer he forgot in the kitchen, telling him,
And the next time you decide to cook protein, use it properly.
Message received. Hopefully. In his exit interview, Matthew seemed baffled by the whole thing. He really thought he'd last longer and swore up and down that he could cook meat. He just, never got the chance to show Chef Ramsay. But the latter was unfazed.
Matthew may be considered a chef on the internet, but unfortunately, I had to taste his food, and that's why I had to block him from the competition.
Hilarious and brutal as always. What are your opinions about food creators on the internet, by the way? Before moving on to the next contestant, did you know that Chef Ramsay once declared, "My biggest nightmare would be if kids ever came up to me and said, 'Dad, I'm a vegetarian.' Then I would sit them on the fence and electrocute them." At that time, he received flack from the famous Beatles star Paul McCartney, who called him stupid and said that everyone should turn vegan. Well, to Paul, we say, "Let it be, let it be, let it be." Right? Because you can't force your choices on others, much less ask them to go vegan. That's just ridiculous.
Chef, I didn't have eyes on the fillet to start.
You didn't know where your meat was going, young lady?
And on top of that, the prize was a head chef at a steakhouse. Let's be real here. If Josie had one, who knows what kind of mess she'd make in a place like that?
The only thing that's worrying me right now is the fact that she's a vegan. If Josie can't taste the dish, like how can she say it's correct?
Yep. But before I go into more details about how she messed up, let me give you a quick rundown about what Chef Ramsay has to say about it. Now, the famous chef's beef with vegans is well known, no pun intended. He is a big advocate for eating meat and animal-related products, and he's had his fair share of clashes with vegans online. One of his recent online spats was with that vegan teacher who, let's say, might fit the stereotype of an artsy teacher. That vegan teacher took offense to Chef Ramsay promoting meat eating on his TikTok account. So she decided to express her views through a ukulele song, which seems to be her signature. She sings in her TikTok, "Eating animals is wrong, Gordon Ramsay. Hurting animals is wrong, Gordon Ramsay. And if you call me a donut, that's fine, as long as you're vegan from now on." Chef Ramsay's response became one of his most watched TikTok videos ever. It shows him sitting at the table, calmly munching on a piece of lettuce while that vegan teacher sings her song. He seems to be listening to the lyrics, nodding along as he eats his greens. But then, right at the end of the video, he spits out the lettuce, stares into the camera, and calls the woman a vegan donut. He then grabs a massive burger from off camera, starts chomping down on it, basically poking fun at her. Coming back to Josie, she seemed alright until her vegan thing became a total mess for her team right from the very first challenge.
Taste that.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't ask you like it. I asked how hot it is.
She went ahead and threw a load of lobster butter into her team's dish in the relay challenge and then acted like it wasn't her problem because, well, it wasn't vegan, you know?
Because I'm vegan, I'm at a slight disadvantage because I can't taste it.
When the sauce turned out salty, Josie claimed that she made the sauce without seasoning it.
I finished the sauce, but I did not season it.
It is way too salty.
Keanu pointed out that the lobster butter inherently carries saltiness, but Josie defended herself.
I'm not gonna taste things that have meat in it, but now I know to have people taste stuff. Lesson learned.
You can't just refuse to taste, refuse to help, and then act like it's no big deal. Seriously, where's the accountability? This back and forth left Keanu feeling really disappointed.
I think Josie's starting to realize that being a vegan can hurt a lot in the long run.
She's right. Just in the previous challenge, Josie prepared a Chinese breakfast featuring sticky rice and chicken stir-fry, but unfortunately, the dish received criticism for having an overwhelming soy sauce flavor. When questioned about it, she said,
I did, chef. However, after
Hola.
I put in the slurry in, I had chicken juice, so I probably reduced it a little too far.
So, what's your take on this whole situation? Anyone up for a vegan HK season? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Next up is...
Nickname is Chef J the GOAT. A lot of people back home call me the GOAT because they think I'm one of the greatest millennial chefs of all time at home.
He walked into the signature dish challenge with the confidence of a man who believed his own hype. As the final chef to present for the blue team, he carried the weight of their chances against Morgana. He stepped up with his crawfish étouffée, and for a moment, Chef Ramsay seemed genuinely stunned. Someone pulled this off in just 45 minutes? But then the famous chef dug in. The dish had some great color, but that was really the only compliment.
The spice is raw, and the flour's raw. It's not a roux, it's ruined. Damn.
Just like that, the blue team lost 28-30. Jay had gone on calling himself the GOAT. But as far as first impressions went, he might as well have been lamb to the slaughter. He then walked into the 300th dinner service, ready to dominate the fish station with Sam. He even declared salmon to be his favorite dish, which was always a bold statement, especially when you immediately mess it up on national television.
I guess they've just arrived. Why have I got a salmon up there where it's not even fired? And FYI, the salmon's actually raw.
Yeah, Chef Ramsay and sous chef Jason were stunned. Not only was the dish inedible, but they weren't even close to firing entrees. When the famous chef demanded an explanation, Jay and Sam had nothing to say. As the service spiraled, the entire blue team just fell apart. No communication, no coordination, and no clue. Eventually, they were all thrown out of the kitchen, and after an embarrassing performance. Even though he wasn't nominated by his team, Chef Ramsay did this.
And Jay, step forward, quickly.
Could you think of more such contestants who were nominated by Chef Ramsay himself? Anyway, he was somehow spared that day. Jay walked into the next prep looking for guidance on garnish of all things. While it is understandable to double check the details, Steve immediately was skeptical because garnish is, well, the easiest station in the kitchen.
Goes with duck,
lamb, scallops.
What does lentils go with?
Lentils goes with salmon.
If you're struggling there, that is a bad sign. Still, Jay felt confident, though that confidence was probably misplaced considering he spent part of the day just throwing up. When dinner service started, he quickly proved Steve's concerns right. Just as the men were gearing up for a strong service, Jay suddenly called for a salmon garnish, except there was no salmon on order.
We got two Wellington, one strip, one lamb.
And you're not ready with the garnish?
I got all of the other garnishes. I just forgot the Wellington garnish, Chef.
Can you hurry up then, please?
Yes, I can.
That mistake threw the entire meat station off. Later, in a moment of pure career suicide, Jay asked Chef Ramsay this.
Chef, what ticket are we on right now?
Oh, no, off. He's asking me what ticket we're on.
Instead of snapping at him outright, Chef Ramsay made the team remind him and then threw in a brutal jab.
Weren't you the best chef in Kansas?
Yes, sir.
I saw the YouTube video. Weren't you number one?
Yes, sir.
So how about being number one tonight and quit around, okay?
Yes,
the blue team ended the night by serving raw chicken, a classic way to get thrown out of Hell's Kitchen in disgrace. Jay landed himself on the chopping block yet again, this time as the blue team's second nominee for elimination. Given the absolute train wreck that was dinner service, Chef Ramsay decided to drag nearly half the team down with him, including Alex, Antonio, Trenton, and Sam. When the famous chef asked Jay why he struggled that night, he promptly shifted the blame to the meat station.
Communication just come from the meat station. It was messing me up, and I definitely came just a little unprepared today.
That's an interesting excuse, considering garnish doesn't require much coordination with the meat station beyond basic timing. During his plea, Jay actually tried to convince Chef Ramsay that he had a voice in the kitchen, which was a bold claim coming from someone who spent most of their night either fumbling orders or asking what was on them. Chef Ramsay wasn't buying it.
You can't get the garnish right, you've got no chance of becoming my head chef.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
In his exit interview, Jay insisted that Alex should have gone home instead. But despite being salty about his elimination, he ended on a determined note, promising to go home and keep moving forward. Here's what Chef Ramsay had to say.
After watching Jay struggle so badly on garnish, I decided to assign him to a different station, the train station.
Hilarious. But if you had to pick one, who do you think was the worst chef of season 20? Go ahead and drop those names in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. And make sure to check out my next video right here since it's insane.
You should be ashamed.